Hello everybody! I hope you have a great day, or maybe great night, because it's a great time for the next tutorial. Here I want to introduce you a easy enemy stomp detector that I use in my little platformer game called Hammer King. It's for killing enemies from above, like in the Mario or Rayman games. You can of course play my little game and test it and give me a feedback. I will be very appreciated. I have a simple project with a player and enemy which you can download from my GitHub. You will find there two folders. One is for start code and the second which contains the final results of this tutorial. You only need to enter GitHub site, the link of course is in the description, download the zip or clone repository using Git. If you want any help with it, please let me know. Let me introduce Henry. He is a simple man who knows how to walk and jump. His main quest is going to workplace which is on the right side of the screen, but unfortunately, he needs to pass through the zombie. Of course, he can just jump over him, but he's also very good person who wants to destroy our bad enemies. And we will help him by adding the possibility of killing enemies when we stomp on them. In our project, we need to focus on init scene, where we have the player and enemy scenes, and of course some kind of environment. Physics process function is calculated per each frame and it's used for managing the physics. So here you have code for movement, and if you don't know what is going on here, I can do another video about it. The major thing about the collision between player and enemy are layers. In the project settings we can manage 2D physics layers. Using them you can decide which object will see what object. For example, the player can see environment and enemy because there is a collision mask turned on. Collision layer is the layer that is a currency node. That's why he can stand on the ground using built-in function move and slide. The environment, in another way, doesn't need to see anything, but have a collision layer environment turned on, because the player and enemy need to see it and detect it. In this stage of project, we have Henry who can see the enemy and touch him, but nothing is really happening. So let's add die function for it. I just noticed that I didn't add the animation for die, so I will create it using only rotation and position instead of drawing it. And of course, something went wrong. It's a normal day of programming. I just forgot to reset position after sprite is ready to go, and now it's working. It's working very well. So let's do a little testing for die animation. Now we can add keyboard input for test. It's easy to go because Godot have a nice input control on the menu. And everything should work again. We need to add something like stop and moving state for the player, because we have the situation where Xalt function didn't work because we moved character during the animation and different animation was started, so the first die animation was not ended, and that's why the Xalt didn't work. But we have a little different problem. Our enemy should kill Henry instead of us using the key from the keyboard, so let's add the player detector. In enemy seed, let's create a node called area2d. I'm using Ctrl-A shortcut. Godot is telling us that we need to add a collision shape for our new node. We can use collision shape 2D and add rectangle shape 2D. Let's also change the color. I like use black for player detector. We can also change the name. Now it's time to catch the signal. The area2d have a lot of signals and we want to use the body entered because our player is a kinematic character 2D and this node have a body inside. Another signal that we will using very often during programming stuff is area enter because for the example, items or coins are just areas with the sprites. The enemy script is very similar to player script because I just copy-pasted and removed impulse events. I think it's much simpler for this tutorial than adding a new object class. In the function onPlayerDetector body entered, we need only one single line of code, body die, and this will activate our die function. We also need to remember that the player detector needs to see only the player because the enemy could kill itself. In situation where we want two enemies fight each other, we don't need to turn it off. In Godot we have also a great debugging tool where we can see all collision shapes. I will turn off the sky for now because we have a little too many blue color on the screen. The next thing that we need to add is a stomp detector because the enemy needs to detect player collision from above. It's pretty the same as the player detector. If the player will touch this area, we will use die function on enemy and later do q3 to free this object from the memory. It's working very well, but we have one problem. A little one problem. Don't worry my friend, it's okay. Here we have the situation when the player and enemy dies at the same time. I changed the size of the player detector to show it better. It's all because we can still move player after that. So let's block it using a simple state machine. And it's worked better. But we can still manage to kill Henry and the zombie at the same time. To fix it, we need correct collision boxes for the enemy. We want this situation where the player will activate the stomp detector but will stop on the collision box of the enemy while attacking from above. I like this situation because you can't kill enemy while jumping and moving in the up direction. And this is the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching! Please let me know what do you think about this logic for stomp detector. Maybe you have some another idea. If you like this video, please detect a little like button and maybe click it. Subscribe for more content. If you have any question, please let me know. Bye bye!